Seton Catholic looks to make history tonight. The squad plays its first ever game against Gila Ridge. The action coming from Michael Eubank Stadium on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Pequeno alongside my broadcast partner, Adam Perry. So glad to have you here with us on a picture-perfect night at Michael Eubank Stadium. Chamber of Commerce weather. Sentinels in their first ever meeting against Gila Ridge. Sentinels riding a 3-game losing streak. The Hawks have lost 2 straight. Sentinels with 3 games left. And you know, Adam, the doctor who's going to be throwing strikes for Chandler Gilbert very soon.
Oh, yeah.
You know, regardless of the losing streak, the Sentinels with only a handful of games left, they want to end the season strong.
No, absolutely. And, you know, it's never too late to turn a season around and get momentum going towards next season. And, you know, for Seton tonight, they just got to come out and play a clean game of football, which is, you know, something that we've seen them struggle to do a little bit so far this season.
Pete Walheim's team coming off a 40-21 loss at Independence. Now they have the Hawks at home. Gila Ridge coming off a 14-13 loss at Sierra Linda. Both these teams looking for a win, and both these teams have struggled throughout the year. And for Seton, look, if you're going to struggle, you're facing another team that's struggling, it's better to have that matchup on your home turf.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, hopefully we see Chase Dixon turn it up tonight on offense, because he really is where the victory has to start for Seton Catholic. He needs to be on tonight. He needs to be completing short, mid-range, and even long passes and just get some momentum going on offense so you can carry it over to defense.
Hawks are giving up 32 points a game, so that bodes well for a Seton offensive unit that at times has looked fantastic and at times has had moments where they've struggled. They're averaging 23 points a game, and alongside Chase Dixon, he's got some weapons at his side. Luke Aguilar and Ryan Creech. You got a little bit of a thunder and lightning combo in that backfield.
Yeah, Creech and Aguilar have been so consistent and just workhorses so far this season for Seton, and you know, it's no surprise why. They're very agile, very athletic players and explosive out of the backfield.
Receiving core, Nico Pastore leads the receiving core with 24 receptions for 317 yards with 2 scores. Bailey Mendoza, 16 receptions for $164 with 5 touchdowns. You can't also forget about Nick Pongrantz, who's so good as a possession receiver. The receiving core, rock solid. Chase Dixon, he's got some good targets to throw to.
Absolutely. He's got a lot to look forward to tonight.
So when you look at Seton Catholic, their season, we kind of talk about it in a nutshell. The opening loss to Ironwood Ridge, 59-30. A loss at St. Mary's, 43-21. Valley Christian, a 43-7 home loss. Alhambra, a 43-12 victory. Australia Foothills, and Adam, you were here calling that game, a tight loss, 22-20.
Yep, that one kind of snuck away from the Sentinels. They just let, you know, the opponent creep back into the game, and before we knew it, time ran out, and they didn't score enough points.
Then the squad on the road the last 2 games at Snowflake, never an easy place to play, going up to the White Mountains, losing that one 55-20, followed by a road loss last week against Independence by the count of 40-21. So Gila Ridge, the Hawks, they're led by quarterback Stephen Navis. He's thrown for over 500 yards with 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. Rickson Saragusa, the senior quarterback, might also get some work. He's thrown for $157 with 5 touchdowns. Rushing, Ryshawn Keel, 270 yards with 5 scores. Receiving core, led by Jacob Arcides, 20 receptions for 427 yards with 2 touchdowns. And Presley Cavett, 209 yards for 2 touchdowns as well. So they are led by their head coach, Jessica Slaughter. Their OC is Mark Leal. DC is Andrew Mercer. Wide receivers coach is Easton Benedict. Running backs, linebackers coach, Akeem Guiden. Defensive backs coach is Chris Torres. D-line coach, Ernie Navis. Assistant, Castle Wiggins, Brian Kerwin, and Kurt Fope.
And here go the Sentinels making their trot onto the field. Good crowd in attendance here tonight.
Good crowd. They've got the Sentinels flag out in force, and a beautiful night, picture-perfect weather. You know, the only thing that could be better than this is watching the Diamondbacks host a World Series game.
Yeah, oh man, oh man. I think they're going to do it too.
Yeah, tremendous buzz about that team.
Yeah.
Look, they knock off the Brewers, sweep the Brewers, and then sweep the Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
And in that series, because AP, I know you're well versed on the star power in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Between Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, between both those two, they went like a combined like 1 for 24.
Yeah, 1 for something. And that's just crazy. I don't think Mookie Betts had a hit, and, you know, that's shocking. And you can attribute that to the pitching of the Diamondbacks that really stepped up. And we're going to take a break here for the prayer and national anthem.
Son, and Holy Spirit.
National anthem in the books. And we are getting ready to
Receiving the ball to start the first half.
get this one going with Seton about to receive. Seton has the numbers in this one as you look at the Gila Ridge sidelines. They only bode well for about 20 to 30 players, so not a lot of depth on that side. That should be a factor in this one as we see Luke Aguilar on the back end to receive, as well as
Back for the Sentinels, Bailey Mendoza,
number 4,
and Luke
Bailey
Aguilar.
Mendoza. So this one about to get underway. Once again, Jessica Slaughter is the head coach for the Hawks. Pete Walheim is the head coach for Seton. First ever matchup between these two programs. So glad you can join us right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. The doctor, Joe Pequeno, and the unstoppable force that is Paulo Hutchison on the live stream. Plenty of pink for breast cancer awareness, and this one is underway, taken by the up man, and he is going to be dropped. Good field position inside the 40-yard line for Seton, and here comes Chase Dixon in the offense, and Chase looking to start fast in this one and get rid of the ball quickly and find his playmakers.
Absolutely, and you know, Joe, I would argue that the first drive of the game is the most important. You know, it's tone setter, and we'll see what Chase Dixon brings to the table here today.
Seton, of course, looking to start fast, and they've got the depth. Once again, if you look at Gila Ridge, they only dress out 20 to 30 players. Seton's got more numbers, and that's going to play a factor later in this one. So here comes the Sentinels looking to bounce back from the loss to Independence on home turf on a beautiful night here in South Chandler off Ray and Dobson Road. Man in motion. Inside handoff, and that's busting up the middle. And a good physical run by Ryan Creech. And a good start for the Sentinels with a little ground and pound to start the game.
Yeah.
And that's just setting the tone right there.
Here we go.
Doctor, let's play some physical football and let the O-line do their thing.
Yep, already on the Gila River side of the field.
First down at the 46-yard line after a nice pickup on the play. One wide receiver up top, 3 down below, 1 back set. Dixon, quick pass and throws it out in the flat. A short gain on the play. So Chase, his first target on the side. Not much of a pickup as Sloan Sweet gets the pickup. Call it a very short gain of 1 on the play. Brings up a 2nd and 9. First ever meeting between these two teams. And Doc, you've been in numerous baseball showdowns. What is it like when you play a team for the very first time?
You know, there's a feeling out process, absolutely, and we're going to see that here most likely on both teams' first drive.
And we've got a whistle, and looks like that's going to be a false start against Seton. And you hate to see that after you're in a good start to the game with a good inside handoff. You're in Hawks territory, and then you got a big penalty that pushes you back. So now Sentinels are going to face a 2nd and long situation.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for the Sentinels there.
Cheerleaders are going. They've got their pink pom-poms. They're getting the crowd pumped up. The student body decked out in pink as well. The alumni always so rabid here, always out in force. Once again, handoff inside, busting, and that's Creech. And Creech gets a good amount of that back, and it's going to be about a 3rd and long situation for the Sentinels. Call it 3rd and 7. And you kind of talked about it, Adam. It's almost, for the way Seton has started numerous games this year, starting fast, imperative for this team to get off to a quick start and get the lead.
Yeah, first drive score here would be phenomenal. We'll see what Chase Dixon can do here.
Once again, they pound the ball inside. Ryan Creech busting, and Creech first down and moves the chains. And the Sentinels and Coach Pete Walheim basically setting the tone. Then the big boys do what they do. Push the bodies, move the chains, and Ryan Creech slapping through the tackles and guards for another big pickup. So Seton going old school with the physicality here. 2 wide receivers up top. Creech in the backfield yet again. Dixon just feeding the beast.
Oh, yeah.
And the beast is hungry, stays on his feet. Ryan Creech, spin move, and in for the touchdown. Ryan Creech, 33 yards. But there is a flag down. And it looks like it's going to be a hold against the Sentinels, and that's going to wipe out a fantastic play by Ryan Creech, straight out of Madden football.
Are you kidding me? Ryan Creech.
Little spin move, kept his
just
balance.
Refused to go down, yeah.
And broke outside and into the end zone.
Oh, man. And those are the penalties that just hurt the absolute most.
They're soul crushers. Luckily, this one just underway, but the Sentinels will start fresh as the chains get reloaded. And now there is the referees are converging, trying to figure out, as looks like there might be a delay a game potentially. No flag has been thrown as the referees are just trying to decipher the last 2 minutes. So needless to say, the Ryan Creech great touchdown run, one of the best runs the Sentinels have had all year, is wiped off the board. And they'll go back to work. And the referees finally bringing a sense of normalcy back to the game after a long discussion. And now, here it is. So the refs come over and talk to Pete Walheim and say, Pete, it's Friday night. You're playing some football. Have at it.
Yep.
So here we go. Not much of a discussion or a interpretation for us to kind of understand, but
nothing.
We go on.
Not a signal, not a nothing.
So here it is. We are back to live action. Chase Dixon lets it fly. And that one is right through the hands of number 34. And that is painful. Joseph Ferentz with an opportunity to make a play in space. That ball might have been just a tad high.
Tad bit high, and Dixon put some sauce on that throw, but still no excuse there to not reel it in after, it makes contact with both of your hands.
So it's a 2nd down and 2 from the 26-yard line. Creech once again gets the handoff. Creech this time, he's met with a blockade of Hawks stopping his movement. So it brings up a 3rd and 2 from the 26. So Doc, I know you play fantasy. Give me a fantasy update for the doctor.
Won all 3 of my leagues last week, which is a great feeling. But this week is not looking too hot. I started Jerry Jeudy, which if you know anything about Jerry Jeudy, he's not very good. And he racked up about 3 points in the wide receiver slot for me, which is no bueno. You don't want to see that on Thursday night, but, we still have hope for Sunday.
So Chase Dixon wants to have hope on this play with a 3rd and 2 from the 26. A couple wide receivers up top, 2 down below, and now looks like we've got a timeout for Seton. They'll discuss this one. 3 minutes plus in, so the Sentinels will take a timeout. So I'll let you know how my season started.
Yeah.
So drafted Cooper Kupp #1. How'd that work out? My 2nd pick,
oh, man.
Saquon Barkley.
Oh,
how'd that work
my
out?
goodness.
So in the course, I lost my first matchup by 7, and I lost last week because I picked up Anthony Richardson, and the player I was playing, he picked up Justin Fields. Well, Justin Fields had a great game, and Anthony Richardson went out with the injury because the Colts believe they should run their quarterback all the time.
Yeah.
And use him for like
terrible.
Yeah, use him for like a human battery
a human
machine.
shield, yeah.
Right. So he got beat up and left the game. So I got 4 points where he got like 30 something, and that was pretty much the difference in a matchup.
Yeah.
So this week is pretty much I'm getting my team healthy. I need to roll off like 5 wins in a row to have a chance.
Hey, anything's possible in fantasy sports.
Yes, man. Absolutely. 32 for the 26. Chase, shotgun, 3 wide receivers. Chase flicking into the end zone. He's got a man and overshoots his wide receiver. Had him just a bit long, and Nick Pongrantz. And that brings up a 4th and 2. And if I'm Seton, I'm going for it.
You go for it.
I'm pounding the ball.
You go for it.
No hesitation.
Absolutely. And I'm handing it off to Ryan Creech, and I'm having him run to the sideline. No doubt about it.
So it's a roughing the passer call against the Hawks, so it's going to be a 1st down. So the Sentinels inside the 15, so they get a gift. They get 4 more downs to play with, and we've seen Chase Dixon throw his share of passes, and now you got to figure the way Ryan Creech is running the football, we're going to see number 19 getting the ball between the tackles here.
Yep.
Creech in the backfield. Chase Dixon rolling to his right. Pass out in the flat, connected, and a good catch by Sloan Sweet. And that takes it inside the 10, and the Sentinels are knocking on the board.
Yep.
On the catch was Sloan Sweet.
Sweet little out route, little quick pass, and the coaching staff playing to Chase Dixon's skill set, moving him in the pocket where he roams well, and Sloan Sweet on the perfect out route. Brings RPO plays, and that was just a design that went wrong for the team as Aguilar and Dixon were not on the same page. So it brings up a 3rd and 4 from the 7-yard line inside 7 minutes in this first quarter. So glad you can be with us right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Adam Perry, Paulo Hutchison, Joey P on the call. 3 wide receivers up top. Dixon inside handoff, up the gut, and barreling inside the 5. And a late flag coming in. The Sentinels moving the chains as Aguilar gets the 1st down run, but we'll wait to see what the referees do after they make this call.
Yeah, it looks like someone's sportsmanlike conduct going on between number 2 of Gila River and number 4 of the Sentinels, but they've got it all sorted. And we await the call.
So Bailey Mendoza getting tangled up with Drake Phillips. Some Friday night hostility on the island on the lower end of your screen. So the referees will talk it through. Personal foul, and that's going to go against the Hawks, and that's going to put the Sentinels right on the doorstep.
Right there.
It's going to be about the 1-inch line.
That'll bring up a 1st and goal for the Sentinels.
So a lot of options here, Doctor.
A lot of options, and all of them have to result in the same thing, and that's a touchdown here on the first drive.
So in this situation, it's a multiple choice. A, run the football. B, run the football. C, run the football. Or D, quarterback sneak.
Yeah. And they're running the football.
And the Sentinels and Luke Aguilar powers his way in, and the Sentinels roar into the end zone and grab a 6-0 lead.
And we'll get the replay right here, and yeah, that's the right play. No doubt about it. Just find a gap, and Luke Aguilar does his job and puts Seton on the board first here tonight.
A 68-yard drive by the Sentinels to start this one as Aguilar caps it off, and now the extra point attempt awaiting by Nick Pongrantz. And Pongrantz has been spectacular on PATs. Young man who's so rock solid, and now we'll have the opportunity to.
And we'll go half the distance to the goal line.
So the Hawks simply imploding with bad penalties here.
Yep.
That'll be offsides on the defense.
In the early minutes of this one. So now the Sentinels making some changes, and now they're looking like they're going for 2.
Wow. This is not something that we've seen much of so far this season, and it's great to see. Open it up a little bit.
Sentinels have the bodies as you look on the other sideline. The
Yeah.
Hawks, they don't dress out a lot of players. In football, you need that kind of
Depth. Yeah.
depth and physicality. So here comes Seton in a tight formation, and they're just going to rumble across, and we don't see a jersey, but they rule it. 2-point conversion is good. So we'll give credit to Luke Aguilar on the 2-point conversion. So
Awesome.
Luke did it all. The touchdown, and now the 2-point conversion, and it's an 8-0 Seton lead. And we talked about Seton, Doctor, getting off to a fast start, and the offensive line, the big boys up front, really setting the tone.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that's just a great drive to see from Chase Dixon. You know, he aired out the passing. A couple times he overthrew some receivers, but it's okay. You know, when you're trying things and you're going for it, I'm okay with an overthrow. You know what I mean? And Chase Dixon did a phenomenal job of maintaining his composure throughout the entire drive, and that was a long, sustained drive. That drive lasted 5 minutes, 44 seconds, and you can't ask for a better first drive to start the game. Definitely the right tone setter right there.
Seton definitely on point with a great drive, and of course next week they're right back at it, taking on Sierra Linda. As we look at the 4A Southwest football standings as the kickoff is getting ready, Independence 5-2 overall, 1-0 in league play. La Jolla Community 1-0, 1-6 overall. Sierra Linda 1-1, 3-4. Get back to it in just a second. This one booted downfield, takes a hop. Hawks pick it up and race it across to about the 29-yard line. Great special teams by Seton. On the back end of the standings, Gila Ridge 1-5, 0-1, and Seton 0-1 and 1-6 overall. So an opportunity here for Seton to play well in front of the home crowd and get a victory.
Yep.
So now here come the Hawks, a team that
We'd like to thank our platinum sponsors.
is coming off
Reach Home Realty,
last week's loss to Sierra Linda, and the week before they lost to Browley out of California, 47-15. They're led by their quarterback, Stephen Avis, who's thrown for over 500 yards with 2 touchdowns. Handoff and a good physical run on that outside and a good pop. So the Hawks coming out with some effort and energy.
And Nico Pastor takes him down right around the sideline.
Gabriel Cota with a big physical run. Nico Pastor on the tackle.
Flag on the play.
And a flag on the play as well. We'll see what they rule here. It looks like it's against the Hawks. It is.
So
Coming way back.
we've seen the Hawks in a matter of just 6 minutes now with roughly their 5th penalty.
Flag is on the
And last I checked, getting a lot of penalties in football is not conducive to winning.
Not a good thing. No, definitely not conducive with winning. And
Yeah.
the Hawks have to figure it out real soon and clean up their play right now, or this game might get ugly.
Their head coach, of course, is Jessica Slaughter. 3 years as head coach, 7th year in the program. She's from Yuma, Arizona, and a Gila Ridge alumni. So it means so much for her to coach this team. And here come the Hawks. Call it the double back formation. Short run and a slew of Sentinels in on the tackle. And that's a good defensive start for the Sentinels, bringing the physicality right in front. Sloan Sweet in on the tackle. Under 6 minutes in this
Brings up a second.
first quarter.
About 12 yards to go.
Call it a 2nd and 12 from the 28. Now it's the Hawks, couple wide receivers in the bottom of your screen, one up top, 2 backs in the backfield. Navis, time to throw, flicks it out. And once again, it's Gabriel Cota. Cota with a short game brings up a
Tackled
3rd
by
and
number 2,
long.
TJ Conley.
TJ Conley in on the tackle. And now we get to see if the Hawks can spread their wings and throw the ball down the field a little bit.
Yeah, they've got pretty much no choice now.
4th down.
No, they're going to punt this away, which is the right call, absolutely.
So that was a 3rd down situation. Apologize about that. So it
Yep.
brings up a 4th
Back
and
receive
long.
punt, Luke Aguilar.
Luke Aguilar is back to receive for the Sentinels, and the Hawks, let's see if they can get this off accordingly. They do, and Aguilar lets it bounce, and the Sentinels will set up shop inside the 40. So the Sentinels with good field position as we wind down to 5 minutes in this first quarter.
Take over at the 37
So
yard line.
a good start. The offensive line sets the tone, and Ryan Creech runs physical, and Luke Aguilar cleans up the work inside the 5, and then the defensive line comes out and they set the tone, and the Hawks have to punt in their first possession.
Yeah, I mean, this game is all Sentinels so far, and hopefully Chase Dixon can keep this momentum rolling with another good offensive drive.
So the Sentinels set the tone in their first possession by pounding the football, and once again, they have the numbers. Hawks with a limited roster. One back set, man in motion. Flip out to the right side. And that's going to be a short gain as the Hawks come up and bring the
On the
physicality.
carry, number 19, Ryan Creech.
Ryan Creech with the short run, roaming to his right.
2 yards.
Brings up a 2nd and 8 from the
Brings up
40-yard
2nd and 8.
line. So a lot of buzz in Arizona right now between the way high school football winding down as we head to the playoffs. The Cardinals are playing good football. ASU is always interesting. And, of course, the Diamondbacks are the talk of the town. And once again,
Wow,
Ryan Creech running with a purpose.
Ryan Creech for a Sentinel first down.
Gets a first down. And, Adam, I think in this one, honestly, I don't think Chase Dixon has to throw more than 10 passes
No.
tonight.
No. Hand the ball off to Creech and just let him work. He is just driving through the defense of the Hawks right now, running with so much aggression.
Creech and Aguilar, the law firm of Aguilar and Creech. Laying down the law on Friday night here at Michael Eubanks Stadium. This time, big physical tackle at the point of attack.
That carries by Luke Aguilar.
Hawks charging hard. Doing a great job on that play. Ian Ellis, the free safety, coming up and laying the lumber. Brings up a 2nd and 11. First quarter moving quickly. Already under 4 minutes. One wide receiver up top, 2 down below, 1 back set. Aguilar, handoff, moving to his left. Luke, spin move, still on his feet. Short gain, takes it out past the 45-yard line.
Third and 8.
So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 for the Sentinels. That means Chase Dixon is going to have to work it down the field. Sentinels showing trips upstairs. One wide receiver down below. Dixon avoids the rush, steps up, downfield, hits his target.
Wow.
Nice pitch and catch.
That was
on the receiving end
That pass was caught
for the Sentinels.
by Nico Pastore.
Nico Pastore.
Another Sentinel first down.
And Pastore continues to be Chase Dixon's main target. Grabs the first down.
And that was a Patrick Mahomes-esque play right there from Chase Dixon. The pocket collapsed, he crumbled, he weaved 2 defenders, and he made a dart of a throw on the run. And that's just great to see from Chase Dixon.
We call that sizzling improvisation.
Absolutely.
1st and 10 from the 31. Dixon, handoff, Aguilar just grinding up the middle and pounding for another good pickup. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 5. So Aguilar working between the tackles. Ryan Creech powering up the middle. Dixon finding targets when he needs to. Just a really solid start for the Sentinels as Gila Ridge makes some changes to their defensive unit. Coming in, number 83. Handoff outside. Ryan Creech down the sidelines, and Creech finally knocked down inside the 10.
Another Sentinel first down.
Ryan Creech powering his way, takes it to the 10, a gain of 17 on the play. Ryan Creech already over the 50-yard mark in the first quarter alone. Sentinels scored on their first drive and closing in on another score. Right here on
Brings up a first and goal from the 10-yard line.
their home turf from Michael Eubank Stadium. Gorgeous night for football. 2 wide receivers up top, Creech in the backfield.
First down, I'm running it here.
And now
Seton.
a miscommunication between the Sentinels. Looked like it was Chase Dixon and Nico Pastore had a little bit of a conversation going. So the Sentinels burn a timeout. And you know, Adam, that's a worthy timeout. Better to get it right than run a play and have a flag come down for a false start or legal motion.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, hopefully when Seton comes back after this quick little timeout here, they'll be able to, you know, really put a stamp on this first quarter, and they're poised to strike yet again here.
Sentinels talking things through. Of course, things so busy on campus with the volleyball team in action. The basketball teams are getting ready to start with Karen Self and Carter Abey. And we'll have the doctor calling some basketball games before he jettisons off
Absolutely.
to his baseball season with Chandler Gilbert. And we'll have soccer coming up. Of course, Coach Grant Wagner has stepped down. He is making the transition while Seton is on the search for a head coach. That might have been decided. If I am wrong on that, please, I have no problem to be corrected. 2 wide receivers up top. Creech just working his way, powering his way, and Creech
Wow.
takes it down to the 5-yard line. Another good pickup.
Gain of 5 on play, 2nd and 5.
And along the way, we have fans wearing pink hair. All
Oh,
part
yeah.
of the breast cancer awareness. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 5 from the 5. And Doctor, did you see the Barbie movie?
You know what? I haven't seen it, Joe. And I know that's disappointing, but you know, I've seen so many of the memes on all over social media. I feel like I've watched the movie. Obviously, missing the full experience.
Ryan Creech pounding his way and gets stopped about the 2. Yes, it's all about absorbing and soaking in the experience in life, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
I got to be honest, and I'm a big Ryan Gosling fan. And the more I see Ryan Gosling, whether it be Remember the Titans or The Good Guys, or I think he's pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
La La Land, I found him, he was great in that. But I just have no desire to see the Barbie movie.
No.
You couldn't pay me to see it.
No,
I don't want to see it.
I just don't. I don't think I could sit in the theater for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and absorb something that's, not my cup of tea.
Yeah, 3rd and 1
Per
from
se.
the 1. Dixon. Miss handoff, maybe a miscommunication on the RPO. He'll be dropped, and as the
Short of
first
the-
quarter is winding down.
Dixon for no gain on the play.
So it's going to bring up a short situation for the Sentinels, and they are content on 4th and short to let the clock wind down, and they'll start the second quarter on offense. And
that'll
a
bring us to the end of the first quarter.
good first quarter for the Sentinels with a 7-0 lead. So getting back to the Barbie movie, I'm a big fan of Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Ryan Gosling, but just there was really nothing about that movie that
Just didn't appeal. Yeah.
yeah, I mean it wasn't like a superhero movie which I'd go see like tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean Iron Man, I'm there.
Yeah.
The Avengers, I'm there.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, I'm there.
And that's the thing, Joe. I feel like we just weren't the target audience for that movie, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the crowd they wanted.
Yeah.
They're selling a lot of merchandise.
Oh yeah. Oh, they killed it in the box office as well.
Yeah, I mean, the movie made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
They're talking about making a sequel.
Yeah.
So regardless of what Adam Perry and Joe Pequeno think,
It's a blockbuster.
they're like, we don't need you.
Yeah. No. They've got their
AP,
crowd.
JP, you go home. You
Yeah.
don't come. We don't need you there.
No.
So it's going to bring up a 4th and 1 for the Sentinels to start this second quarter. A very fast-moving first quarter, by the way, as we look at the clock. 30 minutes. And only a handful of penalties by Gila Ridge. So we are on track for a fast-moving football game from Michael Eubank Stadium. So a bunch formation by the Sentinels, a tight one, and they are about to snap it, and they're about to bust right in.
Wow.
And
Flag on the play though.
Chase Dixon crosses the goal line, but we'll have to wait and see. There is a flag down.
And I've got to say this. I know the Eagles aren't the team that created that move right there, the brotherly shove, whatever you may call it. But it's great to see the Sentinels learning from something that works in real life, NFL, the highest level of football, and incorporate it in their own game. That's great to see from the Sentinels. And unfortunately, it looks like this one is coming back. So it looks like the the field goal unit will come onto the field now.
So the Sentinels are going to try to knock this one up from short range. It'll be about a 24-yard field goal.
Yeah.
And
22, yeah.
Nick Pongrantz.
23-yarder. Here we go. Flag on the play.
So now both sides are.
Offsides by the Hawks.
There we go. So the offsides by the Hawks will bring Seton right back into dangerous range on the 3-yard line, and looks like they're still set to kick it here.
So now
wouldn't be surprised if we saw a fake here.
So now Pongrantz. This one basically a glorified PAT. Good snap, and another flag is down, and a false start against the Sentinels.
Oh, man.
And there's a false start on your
So
Sentinels. We'll take the ball back in the
they're just moving back and forth at this point, Joe.
Yeah.
Taking turns.
After a very crisp first quarter, now a little sloppy to start the second, but Nick Pongrantz has been really good for the Sentinels, nailing his extra points, and not a lot of field goal attempts on the year, but this one is up. Punch shot, and this one is good. So Nick Pongrantz with the field goal, and the Sentinels now lead 11-0. So they've scored in their first 2 drives. The cheerleaders are happy. The student body, they're getting loose. They're having a good time.
Yeah.
We would like to thank Joel Terrell
So-
and the Bell Bank Mortgage team for your continued support of the Seton
So
community.
far, so good for the Sentinels. Couple of sponsors, shout-outs. Bell Bank Mortgage, Rural Electric, the Times Media
We'd
Group,
also like to thank our bronze sponsors,
Wendy's, the Jorgensen family, EdTech,
Intellis Construction Services, Gold Crown Promotions, VIP Homes,
Pongrantz
Hanover
Orthotics,
Family.
just to name a few. VIP Mortgage, Intellis Construction Services, LLC. Of course, the Times Media Group as well. A slew of great Seton sponsors that help provide the fun here and help provide funding for the athletic department. This one, a little pooch shot. The up man comes up, takes it up, and that's Gabriel Cota. Cota roaming to his right and finally gets dropped. But the Hawks have good field position, and now they go back to work, and they are trailing, and this is after a 14-13 loss against Sierra Linda. And for Coach Jessica Slaughter and her coaching staff,
And Bailey Mendoza.
they'd like to see a long, sustained drive to keep their defense, which is already taxed with the limited bodies, fresh.
Yeah.
At the 45-yard line.
The Hawks start from the 45. They come out with a couple wide receivers up top, 2 down below, 1 back set. Steven Navis dropping back, fires downfield, and that one is overthrown. Looked like the receiver stopped short on the route, a miscommunication.
Yep. Not really an intended receiver in sight on that one.
Bring up 2nd down and 10.
So Adam, Halloween is right around the corner. Are you a big Halloween guy?
You know,
There's a flag on the plate.
and we have a flag that is going to push the Hawks up 15 yards, well into Sentinel territory, now on the 40-yard line. And Joe, I don't have a costume picked out yet, no, but you know, I know it's going to be a good one this year.
Yeah.
I've got the feeling. The search has been, you know, going for a while now, but I'm not getting impatient. When the idea comes, the idea will come.
Navis on the slant route, perfect throw, and that is
Wow.
going all the way. Jacob Arcides goes in, a 40-yard touchdown. Perfect throw by Navis, and a dime to Jacob Arcides on the money, and the Hawks are on the board. And you couldn't ask for a better throw from Stephen Navis, and Jacob Arcides, their star receiver, on point and did the rest.
Yeah, the touchdown for the Hawks. Caught by number 1, Jacob Arcides.
Arcidius on a 40-yard touchdown strike. And the Hawks show some life here in the second quarter. And how paramount was that, Doc? It looked like if they didn't make something happen in this drive, they could be run out of this building. And needless to say, as that extra point is no good, a key score for Coach Jessica Slaughter and the Hawks.
Yeah, just absolutely necessary, but it definitely stings for them to not convert right there on the extra point. They trail 5 now, and you know that was definitely a sign of life though from the Hawks, and they're still in this game. It's only a 1-possession game so far, and you know, too early to call anything. But it looked for a while there like Seton was going to have a field day tonight, but the Hawks trying to keep this one close.
So getting back to Halloween, did you trick or treat as a kid?
Oh man, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and you know, me and my sister every night would come home after a long, long day of.
This is whoa! You have a sister?
I do have a sister.
I've never known this.
Ah, and he, you know, Joe, we learn new stuff about each other every day.
Wow.
And, yeah, she's down at U of A, but she's actually home for the weekend. We're going to the zoo tomorrow with my whole family, which is going to be fun. You know.
Is the girlfriend coming?
Girlfriend is absolutely coming.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And what is your sister's name?
So my sister's name is Hannah Perry, and she's in nursing school right now over at U of A. And this one will be returned out to around the 30-yard line.
Brings up the 30-yard line.
And yeah, no, she's 2 years older than me and a wonderful, wonderful role model. And yeah, I mean, I can't believe I haven't told you about my sister.
Yeah.
Gila.
So is she going to come to a game this year?
Oh yeah. So she'll be at as many as she can make, and we'll coordinate that when I know what days I'm pitching and whatnot. But
Yeah.
she'll be. Oh yeah, she'll definitely. You'll have a chance to meet her. Absolutely.
Wow.
No doubt.
So the doctor has a nurse as part of his staff, and that
Yes.
is his big sister.
Yes.
Good to know. So here come the Sentinels with a first down from the 30-yard line. Dixon, shotgun. 2 wide receivers down below. Inside handoff, and that's Creech. And Creech muscling
Creech.
in the open
Creech
field.
is gone.
Ryan Creech, 40, 30, 20. Ryan Creech all the way. 70-yard touchdown, and the Sentinels now lead 17-6.
That touchdown by number 19, Ryan.
Creech hit the open field, and he was gone. Nobody could catch him. He was gaining separation. And Ryan Creech is a speedster, no doubt.
Sponsored by Joel Carroll and the Mortgage Team.
So Seton back in the driver's seat. 11-point lead, looking to make it 12.
Ryan Creech already over 100 yards on the night. On his way to a special night. And it's Nick Pongrantz in for the extra point attempt. The hold, and the Sentinels run the fake. Going to the end zone, and that is.
And they've got Luke
correct.
Aguilar.
The Sentinels connect on the 2-point conversion. Chase Dixon to Luke Aguilar.
Caught by number 9, Luke Aguilar.
19-6, Sentinels with some trickeration, and it pays off.
It pays off. Absolutely pays dividends, and that's the second time tonight that Seton has successfully converted a 2-point conversion, and that's a statement in and of itself. Pete Walheim definitely prepared his squad for tonight. They look sharp.
And how about Chase Dixon tonight? We've seen him with some mobility, some Patrick Mahomes-esque type moves out there. And
Yeah.
once again, avoids getting dropped in the backfield and throws a strike to Aguilar for the 2-point conversion. And how about Terry Lick, the assistant athletic director, manning the ship, the
Yeah.
general
Staying
of the
involved.
athletic department.
And Freddie the Flamingo.
And Freddie is, we're waiting to see Freddie out in force. Haven't seen him quite yet, but when you're at a Seton game, you never know who's going to pop up
No.
or what might pop up out of the universe.
Yeah.
Little pooch kick, and taking it up is the up man for the Hawks. Working his way and out past the 30, past the 35, and there's a flag down, and that one might be coming back. So the Sentinels just going to the old reliable source, Ryan Creech, offensively to build a 13-point lead. Referees are talking this one over. And in most cases, this does go against the receiving team for either a hold or a block in the back. And they are in a serious Friday night conversation to talk this one through. While we wait for the call, baseball season, you're in fall ball right now, and how's the team shaping up for Chandler Gilbert?
Chandler Gilbert is looking phenomenal. I'm not sure we've lost a game so far this fall, and that says a lot because the conference that Chandler Gilbert plays in is incredibly competitive. And, for Chandler Gilbert to be ranked number 22 in the nation coming into this season, that's a target on our backs, and we've been embracing it so far.
And very exciting because for people that are not too familiar about Chandler Gilbert, the squad made it to the Region 1 baseball finals last year, losing to Glendale. So despite the great season and suffering that loss, how much did it leave a lingering taste for the team to go even farther this year?
Yeah, it felt like a letdown. Our regular season wasn't that phenomenal last year, but we turned it on. We got hot at the right time and had a good playoff run. And we almost had a nasty taste in our mouth once all was said and done because we felt like Glendale wasn't as good as us, and we still let them sweep us.
And Glendale basically they came in the series and just played sound, fundamental baseball.
Yeah.
They fielded well, they pitched well, they got timely hitting to pull off the series win. But now for Chandler Gilbert, a number 22 ranking as the season's right around the corner. Here come the Hawks. 2 wide receivers down below, 2 up top, 1 back set. Navis in the flat, and right there, laying the lick and bringing the heat, Miguel Grijalva, the senior cornerback. And Miguel also, you can see Miguel with the basketball team with Carter Abe right around the corner. Carter's team made the playoffs last year. Carter, a tremendous young coach, one of the best in Arizona. And of course, on the women's side, when I talk about Karen Self, when it's all said and done, Karen will go down maybe as the greatest basketball coach in the history of high school right here in Arizona. She is that good and even a better person who's shaping young lives for the better and empowering women to be successful. So a penalty against the Sentinels. That's going to move the sticks for the Hawks. Last time out, the Hawks got a 40-yard pass from Navis to Arcides for a touchdown, and now Navis, shotgun. Little pitch on the outside. And the Sentinels right there. And another flag is down. The penalty is starting to roll. Ian Ellis in on the tackle. And the referees will talk this one over. And on both sides, AP, you just like to see the play being cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what has, this game has diverged towards, but, the first quarter of this game was incredibly clean. Only a couple penalties, and all of them being against the Gila River Hawks. And right here's another one against the Hawks as the Sentinels pin them up on their own 30 now.
So tomorrow when you go to the zoo, you might see a hawk or two in a cage.
Yeah.
What is your favorite animal to see when you go to the zoo?
I'm going to have to say either a rhinoceros or a giraffe, Joe, because, they're just such marvels of nature. I mean, I can't believe that animals are able to get that big and, still function. They're just incredible to look at and truly fascinating creatures.
Navis, little dump pass. Caught the Sentinels in a screen and working his way up the field, out past the 50. There is a flag down on the play, but once again, the Hawks getting some excellent work from Presley Cavett, the sophomore wide receiver. But there is a flag on the play, and they're going to wave that one off.
There's no flag on the play.
So that will move the sticks, and good play call by the Hawks. They caught the Sentinels blitzing, little dump off, little screen out. And Cavett did the rest, motoring up the field.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of the zoo. I love animals.
Oh, man.
I have a 40-pound Airedale at home, and very shy, but the sweetest dog.
Wow.
She's amazing. First and 10 from the 46. Handoff on the outside, and make that a second down situation.
So second and super short, and some Sentinels are pointing towards the other direction, trying to say that they maybe have overturned possession of the football, but looks like it'll just be a no gain on the play, and it'll go to third and short now. The Hawks have been brought to a halt here by the Sentinels.
Under 10 minutes left in this first half. 3rd and 1 from the 46. 3 backs in the backfield for the Hawks. Navis inside, and a big rumbling, powerful run by Richard Bean.
On the tackle,
Working his way across the line.
And number 20, Ian Ellis.
And that is a first down as Ian Ellis makes the tackle, and that brings up a big round of applause from the Sentinel fans sitting right to our left. We are in an open area.
Right.
We are not in the press
box. Not in the booth. No.
So we are getting all the energy from the crowd.
And I love it. I think it adds to the overall environment and, the atmosphere for us.
Navis flicks it out, little dump off. Working his way up the field. Gabriel Cota, as he gets taken down by a slew of Sentinels. In on the tackle, number 2, RJ Fogarty. So here come the Hawks with a second and call it
On the tackle is number 51,
3.
Michael Iasaki, and number 2, TJ Conley.
Hawks trailing 19-6. Sentinels have scored on every possession. Navis, couple wide receivers up top. Time to throw.
Ooh.
And right through the hands of Gabriel Cota, who was open on the slant route, and Cota just kind of whiffed it. And along the way, Navis had some time to ease up on that throw.
Yeah.
Could have been a little softer, a
Little bit
little touch
softer.
on it. But needs to say, last I checked, Doctor, if you're a shortstop and the ball hits you in your glove,
Yeah.
they rule that.
It's an error.
Exactly.
Third down and 3.
And, you know, there's something to be said of maybe Cota, you know, being in the middle of the field right there. Maybe he thought he was about to get cracked by a middle linebacker, but he ends up not completing the catch. And Navis recovers the botched snap and picks up about 3 yards. So we go to 4th and short,
Guys, quarterback keeper.
less than a yard.
And give Navis a lot of credit. Ball
Fourth down and
hit the
1.
turf. He hustled to get it and worked his way. So it's going to bring up a 4th and inches. And the Hawks, look, you're 1-5. You're going to go for it.
You go for it.
And they're going to work their way, and that's going to be very, very close. And Seton Nation feels Navis was stopped. It all depends on where they rule it.
Yep.
And they rule that in favor of the Sentinels. And the Sentinels fans are all fired up.
Tackle by number 55, James Williams.
So a turnover on downs right there, and it you know, to me that just looks like the Hawks didn't really commit to that quarterback push at all. I mean,
Turnover on downs
some of the linemen were almost completely upright.
at the 42-yard line.
So no surprise there, they couldn't muscle through the line of Sentinel defenders.
So the Sentinels, which have scored on every possession, now in their 4th possession of this first half. A 1st and 10 from the 42. Chase Dixon and Ryan Creech. Creech and Aguilar. What a great first half they've had. Creech already 100 yards on the ground, and once again, he's working his way. Another good pickup.
The handoff is number 19, Ryan Creech.
Creech,
Working
a
about 5.
70-yard run for a score in the last
Electric.
possession.
Yeah.
And bust out 5 just like that.
You know, Joe, there's a saying, age is old, and it goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Ryan Creech is most certainly not broken. Dump off in the flat. Luke Aguilar turns upfield for a first down and some more.
That pass caught by number
Chase
9,
Dixon.
Luke Aguilar, for
Wasting
another
no
Sentinel
time.
first down.
Aguilar off the line of scrimmage, took a step back. Perfect pitch and catch. The Sentinels move the chains, and once again, they're on the move with under 7 minutes left. In a fast-moving first half from Michael Eubanks Stadium. It's the Hawks and Sentinels, both teams looking for a victory. Sentinels 1-6. The Hawks are 1-5. The first ever meeting between these two teams that play in the 4A Southwest football standings. Independence, La Jolla, each 1-0. Sierra Linda 1-1.
And Ryan Creech, are you kidding me? First down yet again.
That's Ryan Creech going to carry again for another Sentinel
Gain of
first
about
down.
13.
And Ryan Creech, it's Friday night. And Doc, Ryan Creech has put his big boy pants on.
He is stepping up big time tonight, Joe.
Ryan Creech
And-
inside the 35.
Joe, it looks to me like we're on camera. A ways away.
For all the Sentinels fans out there, good to see you. Glad you can join us. Paulo Hutchison punching up the media shot, as always. Creech up the middle, turns the leg, short gain that time around.
Carried by number 19,
Yeah, it's very rare that we're on camera for
Yeah.
this shot.
Yeah.
We get the fans, we get the pending alien invasion, we get the aliens dancing, we get Freddie the Flamingo,
We'd like to
Oh,
welcome
yeah.
all of our
the
Gila
cheerleaders.
Sentinels tonight.
we get
Wearing your
Terry
yellow
Lucht,
shirt.
who's bouncing
Don't
around.
forget to stop by the concession stand and pick up your jumbo
So it
autograph.
brings up a 2nd and 7 as we wind down to 5 minutes and
Yellow shirts.
a very fast moving first half. 7:53 on the clock. Chase Dixon throwing it out. Got a wide receiver, and that's a touchdown. And Nick Pongrantz, 31 yards, and the Sentinels have blown it open.
Flag on the play.
But there is a flag down.
Holding on your Sentinels.
Oh, and this one is coming all the way back. Holding on the Sentinels right there. And as you probably hear, an overwhelming sound of boo from the home crowd.
Sentinels Nation, they don't like or appreciate the call. So that'll push the Sentinels back. They have scored on every possession. The only thing the Sentinels have done wrong in this one, they are starting to rack up their share of penalties.
And Joe, it's worth mentioning that, you know, the last time the Sentinels had a touchdown called back, it didn't stop them. They went on to score a few plays later.
Dixon shotgun, time to throw. He's got Nick Pongrantz over the middle. Pongrantz, open space. Pongrantz inside the 10. Pongrantz will score, and the Sentinels have blown this one open, leading 26-6 on a 41-yard touchdown from Dixon to Pongrantz.
And number 25 coming onto the field to kick the extra point.
Riley Kelly coming on to kick the extra point.
And I mean, how about it, Joe? I mentioned that last time the Sentinels got a touchdown called back, they went on to score, and they do it right there on the very next play. The Sentinels are undeniable so far here tonight.
Riley Kelly, 5 of 6 from extra point attempts this year, a star on the soccer team. This one up, and this one is through. And the Sentinels with a 20-point lead.
Brings the score to 25-6 for Central.
And the Sentinels,
48 left in the half.
4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. Make that, I'm sorry, 4 possessions, 4 scores, 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal. And Riley Kelly tops it off with the extra point. And things all good for the Sentinels on a Friday night. Now the Hawks trailing by 19. They're feeling their sense of desperation. As the cheerleaders count down the
Back to
points
kickoff
and
for Sentinels, number 7, Nick Pongrantz.
say, go Sentinels. Nick Pongrantz will kick this one deep. Good energy from Michael Eubanks Stadium. Good night, good weather, and the Sentinels performing well in front of the home crowd. Pongrantz boots this one right to the side. Hawks taking it up and drop right inside the 30-yard line. And that's where quarterback Stephen Navis and the Hawks will go back to work.
Joe, the apologies. Seton is playing so good tonight. You might even say that it's out of this world. And, you know, we have no extraterrestrial visitors quite yet here tonight. And, you know, that's almost disappointing to me, Joe.
Yeah.
First down for the Hawks.
Because as the old adage says, the truth is out there.
Truth is out there.
Agent Mulder and Scully always looking for extraterrestrial life to prove that it does exist and there is an alien conspiracy on the planet. Needs to say, Navis is trying to prove there's no conspiracy that his team can rally. Quick dump out on the slant and a good pitch and catch right there to Chaston Stewart, the junior wide receiver. TJ Conley in on the tackle. Good pickup for the Hawks. That's going to move the chains.
Don't forget, head over to the concession stand, pick up your hamburgers.
So when is the opener for Chandler Gilbert?
Churros.
Ooh, I don't know if we
Is
have
that
our
February or
schedule
March?
yet. I think it's very late January actually, Joe. I think it might be like January. Last season was the 27th, I believe. So, you know, we might get a February start, we might get a January start, but regardless, the Yodis are going to be ready.
3 wide receivers up top. Navis dropping back. He's got time to throw. Navis dumps down below, finds his target. Jacob Arcides. Arcides gets wrapped up. And a good open field tackle by the Sentinels. Leading the charge, a big physical specimen, and that is
That tackle by number 51, Micah Asaki.
Micah Asaki. Asaki getting a lot of collegiate looks because he is a mountain of a human being.
Yeah.
Wrapped up Arcides after the reception. 2 wide receivers down below, 1 up top. Back in the backfield. Navis, handoff inside. Barreling for a short pickup. Presley Cabot and the Sentinels
That tackle by number
wrap
10,
him up quickly.
Declan Hermes, and number 43, Nico Pastori.
It's going to bring up a 3rd and short. As the Sentinels
Brings up a
fans are,
third down.
and all of a sudden we are seeing something
Uh-oh.
out
Uh-oh.
of the sky. Something out of this world. Something that we just can't even fathom right now. If you take a picture, it might not even show up. 3rd and 2 from the 49. Handoff inside. And a big physical run up the middle. And the Hawks will move the chains and get 4 fresh ones. And the Hawks O-line stepping up big on this drive. Winding down to 2 minutes left in this first half. Sentinels with a comfortable lead.
Parker,
Comfortable, but
Parker Chapman,
no excuse
Edward
for the Sentinels to start coasting here.
Michael Probst.
They should be doing everything in their power here to prevent the Hawks from getting on the board before the end of the first half.
2 wide receivers. Navis rolling, now steps up, avoids the rush. Gets hit by a slew of Sentinels and gets dropped forward. Good pickup for the quarterback who eludes the sack and manages to make it a positive play. Gila Ridge and the Sentinels meeting for the
Tackle by
first
number
time.
54, Joshua Perskisa.
Squad's part of the new 4A Southwest football standings. Independence, La Jolla Community, Sierra Linda, Gila Ridge, and the Sentinels. 2nd and 4 from the 41. Navis flicks it out to his left. Good pitch and catch, finds
Tackle by number 2, TJ Conley.
his receiver, Gabriel Cota, wrapped up by
There's a first down for the Hawks.
TJ Conley. But a first
At
down for the
40-yard
Hawks.
line.
I mean, give the Hawks their due. They're trying to end this half strong and reset at the break. Navis, downfield, got a receiver across the middle. Good catch and a good hit after the fact and a late hit. Jacob Arcides. And Arcides has shown on this night that he is a player for the Hawks.
That pass was complete to number 1, but we do have flags on the play.
And you know, Joe, that might even be a targeting call, which would be incredibly unfortunate for the Sentinels right there.
That will set up the Hawks inside the 10 easily. And the Sentinels fans not happy with that call, but the Hawks move down to about the 6-yard line with a $1:04 left. And you know the Hawks would love to use every second and pound this one in.
Yep.
At the half. Navis and finds his target in the end zone for the touchdown. A perfect throw and a perfect catch. And the Hawks get the touchdown pass to Jacob Arcides, their star receiver. And the Hawks are not going away yet. And the star power shows up for the Hawks on that drive. Navis to Arcidas. 3-yard touchdown. And now the Hawks are setting up to go for 2. Arcidas at the bottom of your screen. Drake Phillips up top. 2 backs in the backfield. Low snap, and Navis will be dropped. And the Sentinels take advantage of the bad snap. In on the tackle, Josu Perez-Chica, the junior defensive end. But the Hawks add the score, and they now trail 25-12. And Adam, we've seen Seton score in every possession, and they're going to have an opportunity with a minute left.
Yeah, not a whole lot of time, but the way their offensive unit has been performing tonight, I would not be surprised whatsoever if they manufacture a touchdown here with a minute to go.
So, set to receive for the Sentinels. Bailey Mendoza as well as Luke Aguilar. And the Hawks hoping for a good kick and some good special teams to ice this first half. Sentinels looking for a good return and maybe add some more points on the scoreboard. And this one is taken up by Aguilar. Aguilar picks it up, works his way outside. Aguilar out past the 25, the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and Aguilar finally knocked out of bounds.
We do have a flag on the play.
Down about the 45-yard line. And no surprise, a flag is down.
Yeah, we've had quite a number,
A block in the back for your Sentinels.
and a block in the back will be called against the Sentinels. So this one is coming quite a ways back. And Chase Dixon, the task remains the same regardless of the field position. He's got to score in 50.7 seconds.
Sentinels have their share of timeouts. So the big penalty pushes them back to the 45-yard line. They still have excellent field position and a lot of time left to work their way down. The Hawks will get the ball to start this second half. So a score by the Sentinels here would be quite helpful. 1st and 10 from the 45, 50.7 seconds left. 2 wide receivers up top, 1 down below, 1 back set. Chase Dixon roaming to his left. Dixon dumps it off. Aguilar works his way out to the 50-yard line, but the clock is ticking. Now under 40 seconds left. Sentinels trying to hurry up and get to the line of scrimmage. Chase Dixon and the Sentinels taking a lot of time off the clock. Winding down to 25 seconds left. Sentinels closing in on 20 seconds. Dixon dumps it off to Nico Pastore, and that one is at his kneecaps and could not make the catch. And the Sentinels wasted a lot of time getting that play in.
Yeah, not perfect clock management right there, but regardless, we go to 3rd and 6, 15.9 on the clock, and the Sentinels have 51 yards to go if they want to get in the end zone and put up some points before the half. And timeout called here.
So now the Sentinels burn a timeout with a 3rd and 6 from the 49. So options here. Sentinels can't afford to run the ball because they have to work their way down the field. So you got to figure a pass play to Bailey Mendoza or Nick Pongrantz to stretch the field. A great night at the Sentinels tailgating affair. Paulo Hutchison and yours truly got our grub on. Had some salad, some chicken salad, as well as some wings. And a pregame meal is a must for a football game.
Yeah.
3rd and 6 from the 49. Sentinels going trips right at the bottom of your screen. Dixon. And a flag is thrown, and that's going to be a false start most likely against the Sentinels.
Looks like they're counting for too many men on the field against the Hawks. And they've got 12 men on the field.
I stand corrected.
Flag on the Hawks. Too many men on the field.
It's the Hawks giving the Sentinels some yardage. Under 15 seconds left. Sentinels trying to get another 20, 30 yards or so to give Nick Pongrantz a chance. And the referees are set to go, and here we go. 15.9 seconds left. Dixon drops back, steps up the pocket. Dixon, downfield, throws a strike, and that's a beauty right there to
Wow.
Nico Pastore.
Are you kidding me, Chase Dixon?
Number 43, Nico Pastore.
And that was just a beautiful throw. And the beautiful thing about that play, Adam, is that Dixon was skirting the line of scrimmage so he wouldn't go past it, because if he did, he would have drove the penalty.
Right.
And then the perfect strike to Pastore on the sidelines.
Perfect strike.
A 1st and 10 from the 20 with 8.1 seconds left. And the Sentinels looking to add to it.
Some more Mahomes-esque action from Chase Dixon.
2 wide receivers up top, 2 down below, 1 back set. Dixon dropping back over the middle, hits his target, and that is dropped inside the 10. Good pitch and catch for the Sentinels
And
on the reception. Joseph Ferentz.
And they're able to stop the clock with 2.9 left in the half, and they're poised to put another 6 points on the board.
It's decision time.
Yeah.
Do you go for the 3 with Nick Pongrantz? And that's what it looks like the Sentinels are setting up for. And if the Sentinels can get that up and through, a great drive starting with 50 seconds left from their own 45 to convert for 3 points.
And of course, you can never rule out the fake field goal attempt here.
It's always in Pete Walheim's
Yeah.
arsenal. And of course, Chase Dixon is the holder. He is the quarterback, so that is something the Hawks have to be wary of. But this one is up, and this one is good at the buzzer. Nick Pongrantz knocks it through. And the Sentinels with a 28-12 halftime lead. And we'll take a break here from Michael Eubanks Stadium. You're watching the Sentinels and the Hawks of Gila Ridge right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. And we welcome you back as we close in on the second half. The Sentinels with a 28-12 lead. Good crowd, good energy, and the Sentinels started fast, scoring on their opening 62-yard drive. Luke Aguilar capped it off with a 1-yard plunge, and Aguilar on the 2-point conversion. Second quarter, Sentinels started fast again, getting a field goal from Nick Pongrantz. Hawks answered on a Stephen Davis to Jacob Arcidas 40-yard touchdown. Then Ryan Creech busted out a 70-yard run. Sentinels added to it with a Chase Dixon to Luke Aguilar 2-point conversion. Then Dixon a 41-yard touchdown to Nick Pongrantz. Navis to Arcidas, a 3-yard score, and then Pongrantz at the buzzer with a field goal, and that capped off a great drive, a 55-yard drive in about 50 seconds. So now the Hawks will start the half on offense. They are back to receive. Chaston Stewart, number 13 on the left. Nick Pongrantz ready to boot this up. Sentinels really with their best offensive home showing of the year in the first half. So glad you can join us right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Joe Pequeno alongside the doctor, Adam Perry. Paulo Hutchison wolfing down a burger and then some. Also on the live stream. Paulo is capable of talking in real life, but not on the live stream.
No.
But if he was able, he would be full of joyful comments.
Oh, he's a wonderful personality.
The whole time.
Absolutely.
A joyful bottle of fun. So now both sides are talking things over because they've added an additional $1.20 on the clock because a 20-minute half is just not long enough.
No.
Because that extra 2 minutes, they want to make sure that everyone really enjoys and soaks in the atmosphere of a Friday night at Michael Eubank Stadium, which, by the way, is second to none, even to those great football Friday nights at Castile High.
Really? I mean, Joe.
I hear Castile has great Friday night atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely. But, you mentioned second to none, and they're second to one. Castile, I think. Castile's got it going on.
In case our viewing audience does not know, Adam Perry hails from Castile High School, where he played baseball for the Colts, and now he's
Gold Colts, baby.
He's a pitcher for Chandler Gilbert, and Chandler Gilbert baseball team, led by Coach John Watson, looking to make it to the Division II World Series. They return a slew of starters from a team that lost in the Region 1 playoffs to Glendale last year, left a bad taste in their mouth, and they are months away from getting this one started. And Adam Perry goes from the broadcast booth. Well, he'll be counted on to throw some starting innings or maybe relief work as well.
The goal is start, but we'll see how the rest of my fall shapes up, and, obviously how the spring shapes up as well. The first couple games in every spring is normally a feeling out process. You should have a good grasp of who your team is and, where everyone goes, but you never really know until the actual spring season starts.
So how many fall outings have you been on the mound?
Just one. Just one so far, but got some lined up next week and looking to dominate. So a short kick here, returned by number 3 of the Hawks for a gain of about 5 yards. And he'll be brought down right around the 40-yard line, where the Hawks kick off this second half with an offensive drive.
Presley Cavett on the return. So here comes Stephen Navis with a couple first half touchdowns to Jacob Arcidas. And Doc, we are impressed with Stephen Navis, the quarterback, and Jacob Arcidas, the wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking duo.
Yeah, Navis, the quarterback, just looks so poised and patient in the pocket. He's in no rush. He's comfortable. he assesses the field very well, and he's found some good success so far tonight in the passing game.
He's 6'2", he's only a junior. Quick little strike down the field, and that time he had Arcides on the post and just threw one at his feet. But here's a young man that in Stephen Navis, he's a junior, 6'2", $180. Look, you put him at one of the bigger programs where he's got more weapons and more bodies, and all of a sudden, you know, his name's getting a little more exposure in the state.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But he's with a team that's still trying to build itself under head coach Jessica Slaughter. 2 wide receivers up top, 2 down below, 1 back set. Navis throwing from the shotgun a lot. Inside handoff, and Presley Cabot with no room to roam. He is busted up at the point of the attack, in on the tackle. A couple Sentinels in there. Declan Hermes as well as Jesu Perez-Chica. So it's a 3rd down and long for the Hawks. Second half just underway from Michael Eubanks Stadium. So glad you can join us. We've seen extraterrestrial activity in the heavens above. 3rd and 10. Navis, good pocket. He gets hit. Ball is loose. And the ball is still loose. And the Sentinels fall on it at the 40-yard line. And now the referees will talk it over. Was his arm in motion?
And Navis will come off the field shaking his arm, and he's in a lot of pain.
You hate to see that for the young man as he was hit from behind, and that's always a dangerous situation for a quarterback when the pocket is breaking down and those blindside rushers have got room to roam to put a hit on the quarterback. So Navis walked gingerly over to that sideline, and you can see him grimacing in pain. And they rule that an incomplete pass.
That was an incomplete pass that brings up 4th down.
So Sentinels start the second half with a good defensive stand. Now they'll have an opportunity to go back to work on offense with Luke Aguilar set to receive. Pete Walheim on that sideline. Pete very animated tonight. No ball cap for Pete tonight.
No.
Pete in the white shirt. This one is loose. The kick just gets off. It takes a Hawks bounce and it rolls inside the 40. It'd be down about the 39-yard line. That is what you call not a picture perfect execution on the punt, but the Hawks get it going, and Gabriel Cota knocked that one and survived the bat snap to get it away. So now the Sentinels, their first offensive possession in the second half, and they scored on every possession in the first half, AP.
That's just incredibly impressive from the Sentinels.
They did it on the ground with a Luke Aguilar touchdown run, a Ryan Creech 70-yard touchdown run. Chase Dixon with a touchdown pass. A couple Nick Pongrant's field goals. Open turf. Creech, 40-yard line. Ryan Creech finally dragged down inside the 40.
Back carried by number 19.
Down to about the 33-yard line. So Ryan Creech with a big run. A 1st and 10 from the 31. Sentinels scored on every possession in the first half, and now they're going to work yet again. Pitch outside. Aguilar bursts up speed for a good pickup. Called a gain of 5 on the play. So the Sentinels starting the first half like they starting the second half, I should say, as they started the first, grounding and pounding. Trying to work on the clock and keep the ball away from Navis and Jacob Arcides. And a touchdown drive in this start of the third quarter would pretty much lock this one away. Aguilar bounces off a tackle. Aguilar around the corner. Aguilar inside the 10. Aguilar finally dragged down at about the 6-yard line. Aguilar. Huge gain on the play. Call it a gain of 19. First and goal from the 7.
And Joe, I've got a prediction to make here.
Let me see. Choice A, run the football. Choice B, run the football. Or choice C, run the football.
Yeah, I want to see a pitch to the outside here. Swing it over to Ryan Creech and touchdown Sentinels. We'll see what transpires.
So it's Creech outside, bouncing it. Ryan Creech turns the corner, and Creech will go in for the touchdown. And the Sentinels lead 35-12 on a Ryan Creech 6-yard touchdown scamper.
Holding against the Sentinels. This one is coming back.
And just when I was writing it down on my notepad, a waste of quality ink. Paulo Hutchison, so disappointed by the holding penalty, decided not to eat his chocolate pudding and is holding off.
Yeah. Too disheartening of news. And something is to be said here for the Sentinels, and that's that they have to clean it up a little bit. This is the third scoring play that they've had overturned so far in this contest due to some sloppy football. And that's just, you know, they're going to get away with it here tonight, but against maybe some better competition, that's not going to fly. So the Sentinels looking to clean it up now. Dixon looks over. Pass broken up. Intended receiver, number 4, Bailey Mendoza.
And that's a pass that Mendoza hit him right in the midst. And once we talked about, if you're a shortstop, ball hits you in the mitt. If you don't catch it, what's it ruled?
It's ruled in there.
And that right there is a drop by the wide receiver on a great post route and a great throw by Chase Dixon. So brings up a 2nd and 13 from the 13. Third quarter action. Sentinels leading 29-12. Closing in on 9 minutes left in this third quarter. Sentinels have scored on every offensive possession. Chase Dixon dropping back. Right out to Ryan Creech. Creech up the gut, and Ryan Creech goes into the end zone. A 13-yard touchdown pass, and the Sentinels have blown this one open, leading 35-12. And now I can put it on my notepad officially.
There you go.
Sentinel touchdown was brought to you by Joel Terrell at Bell Bank Mortgage.
And how about Ryan Creech having a career-defining night here at Michael Eubank Stadium?
Ryan Creech is already over the 100-yard mark.
Next point is number 25, Riley Kelly.
Ripped off a 70-yard touchdown run, now on the receiving end of a 13-yard touchdown reception. Now Riley Kelly that is, in for the extra point, nailed her first one. 6 of 7 on the year. Riley Kelly boots this one up, and this one is good.
7 for 8.
Makes the score 36-12.
And the Sentinels now lead 36-12. So the Sentinels have been an offensive juggernaut in this one, scoring in every offensive possession, and their first possession of the second half is right on cue. Driving down, combination of Creech and Aguilar pounding the football, and then Dixon sees the blitz, and the Sentinels draw up the right play. Creech out of the backfield, going in for the 13-yard touchdown. And a good night for the Sentinels, on the verge of, if they can hold on, that is, will
We'd like to send a thank you to the
pick
Joel
up their
Terrell
second
Mortgage
victory.
team for your continued support.
And big shout out to Joe Terrell, Bell Bank Mortgage, to be a proud sponsor of Sentinels football,
And back for your kickoff
as
is
well
number
as Rural
25,
Electric
Riley
Times
Kelly.
Media Group.
So Riley Kelly on the kickoff here.
Riley Kelly, a dominant force on the girls soccer team for Seton, will play collegiately at Scottsdale Community College. I tried to get Riley to come over to Chandler Gilbert and play for Scott Smith, and Scott Smith and his team playing fantastic soccer. They have now run their unbeaten streak to 4 straight. This Saturday they take on Mesa before closing out the season against Cochise, and a win in either one of those games and they punch their ticket to the postseason.
Wow.
So Scott Smith in his second year, once again, doing great things with the women's soccer program over there, but unfortunately Riley will be attending Scottsdale Community College and playing for the Artichokes instead. And we don't like to talk about the Artichokes in Chandler Gilbert country.
No.
Artichokes don't matter in Chandler Gilbert here in the Southeast Valley. And on the kickoff will be Nick Pongrantz. Pongrantz, a little boot. And here come the Hawks on the back end. Out past the 45, still on his feet. And gets finally dragged down at about the 46-yard line. Great return by number 43.
On the tackle, number 5, Miguel Grajava, and number 10, Declan Herman.
Miguel Grijalva in on the tackle. So here come the Hawks, down by 24 points. So, Adam, let's play the guessing game here. You're down by 24. You have about a quarter and a half plus. You're going to A, run the football, B, pass, C, pass, or D, pass.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. They have to pass here. And under center is the quarterback. Flag on the play.
And it's good to see the Hawks quarterback back in.
I'm sorry, I'll start.
And that is Stephen Davis, who took a shot last time out on back in the pocket as he was trying to release the football. He got a shot to his arm. He was walking gingerly off the field, but it's good to see the young man back on the field in the pocket for the Hawks. And football is such a gladiator sport. You can hurt yourself just running up and down the field, tweaking an ankle or pulling a hamstring, or maybe on the worst end of hurting an ACL. Navis down the field, a good-looking pass right to his tight end, and that was just a dart finding Richard Bean, the senior tight end, 215, 6'2", and
Tackle on plays, number 5.
and I'm a fan of Stephen Davis, the quarterback. He's a good-looking player.
Yeah, good looking. And, you know, he exhibits a lot of high-level qualities, and he's commanding a somewhat productive offense here tonight.
And number 51.
But the Sentinels defense is just too good.
2 wide receivers up top, 1 down below, 1 back set. Navis under center. Steps back, drops back, lets it fly. One-on-one coverage down the field, and that one is in and out of the receiver's hand. And Dr. P, that's a ball that should have been caught.
Number 5, Miguel Grajava.
Yeah, contested catch right there, but it's one that you have to bring down if you want any chance at recuperating a 24-point deficit.
And that ball was dropped by Gabriel Cota. Cota with a chance to make a game-changing play and could not come down with it. Inside handoff, a powerful run up the gut. That's going to move the chains as Presley Cavett drives the football right at the Sentinels.
Tackle
And the
on play,
Hawks
number
are on the
43,
move.
Nico Pastore.
Nico Pastore in on the tackle. Under 8 minutes left in this third quarter. We've got the band full tilt, full throttle. They're on the trumpets. The drums are pounding. The fans are cheering. And there they are, the young men on the trumpets doing their thing. 1st and 10 from the 25. Navis under center. Fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, downfield, he's got a receiver, and that is in for the touchdown. The beautiful play fake, and Navis finds Richard Bean for the 25-yard touchdown, and the Hawks are not done yet. A great drive, but there is a flag on the play, and it's going to be against the Hawks, and that's going to be wiped off the scoreboard. Beautiful play by Stephen Navis. Faked the handoff, rolled to his right, found Bean, but that is coming back on the penalty.
Yeah, so sloppy football on both sides of the ball here tonight. And, you know, I wish I had written it down, but if I had to guess, I would say there's been about 15 to 20 penalties called so far here tonight, which is obsessive. Or, yeah, heading in, especially, you know, at the midpoint of the third quarter, it's just too much.
1st and 10 from the 35 as Navis and the Hawks get pushed back. Trips right, the bottom of your screen. One wide receiver up top. Navis looking like a pro in the pocket. And the Sentinels jump off sides. And you talk about sloppy, you know what wasn't sloppy, Dr. P?
What's that?
The burger that Paulo Hutchinson brought up.
Yeah, it looked good.
That I threw down like a champion.
Yeah.
I devoured that thing in about 45 seconds.
I blinked and it was gone, so.
Yes. Paul Hutchison was on the other half of his while I was like on that last morsel of mine.
Yeah.
Ramirez is here. Please come up to the box office.
1st and 15 from the 30. Hawks get the penalty. Navis shotgun. Fakes the inside handoff. Aims to the side, and that one is dropped on good coverage. Richard Bean, but in on the coverage.
That pass broken up by number 81, Grady Jorgensen.
Grady Jorgensen breaks up the tackle. Jorgensen, I should say, got the big hand in to break up the reception.
Ramirez, we have your credit card up here in the press
2nd and 15 from the 30. And some young man left their credit card up in the press box. Little razzle dazzle by the Hawks. Going around inside the 10, and a great reverse as Jacob Arcides in the open field rambles for a great pickup.
by number 5, Miguel Grijalva.
Miguel Grijalva in on the tackle. Miguel also a factor on the basketball team for Carter Abbey. Clock is ticking down. Under 7 minutes left in the third quarter. A 1st and goal for the Hawks. They're coming out and looking to respond. Couple receivers. Navis under center. Goes inside. Handoff goes to Presley Cavett. Cavett going nowhere. Met by a sea of red. Good stop by the Sentinels. Some of the girls' volleyball squad is here this evening.
Hector, 67, Michael Probst.
It's always good to see the fellow athletes on campus out here
Hermes.
supporting the football team. Brings up a 2nd and 9 from the 9. Navis under center. Fakes the handoff, dumps it down. And a good tackle by Nico Pastore. Brings down Gabriel Cota, who was in the open field. Looked like he was going to charge his way inside the 10, down to the 5, but Pastore equalized him.
That brings up a 3rd and goal for the Hawks.
So it's 3rd and 5, but no question, this is going to be 2-down territory for the Hawks. And we've got some big-time energy from Sentinels Nation right to our left.
Oh, yeah.
Some serious testosterone going. Caffeine not needed. 3rd and 5 from the 5. 2 wide receivers up top, 1 down below. Navis avoiding the rush, and finally he is taken down on a great pursuit by the Sentinels for the sack.
The sack is by number 67, Michael Probst.
67
And 17.
in on the tackle. So that brings up a 4th and 17 from the 17-yard line. And the fans are saying, watch the hard count. Navis going to the end zone. It's got a receiver, and that's going to be pass interference.
Just blatant there by the defensive back of the Sentinels. Never turned around. Ball hit him in the back of the helmet. And you can't defend that one too much as a Sentinel fan.
Gabriel Cota had 2 steps on the defensive back, and that's going to keep this drive alive for the Hawks. So the Hawks that are living by a prayer in this one, trying to keep their head above water. We'll have another opportunity after gaining the penalty. Brings up a 4th and 9 from the 9. And Arcidas, his main target, one-on-one down below. Gabriel Cota up top. Navis, good snap, rolls to his right. Navis fires. And that one is at about the 1-yard line. They rule it a touchdown. What a play by Stephen Navis, finding Drake Phillips for the touchdown. 9-yard score. And the Hawks are still flying with an opportunity and a chance in this one.
Yep, and they'll go for 2, which is, you know, no surprise. They're 0 for 2 so far tonight on 2-point conversions, and Navis looking to turn that on its head and change it to 1 and 3.
Navis under center, rolls to his left, fires, and a great play. A great stand-up pass defense play. T.J. Conley coming up and knocking it down, an all-out effort. So the score makes it 38-18. Make that 36-18. So the Sentinels still with some breathing room, but they can't take their foot off the pedal. They got to keep driving away. The Sentinels have scored on every offensive possession, and if you're the Hawks, you can't trade scores. You got to get a stop at some point.
Got to get a stop.
The Chandler, Arizona, the Gilbert Sun News, Santan Sun News, Mesa Tribune, or any of the Times Media Group's publications online.
I'd like to thank Paulo Hutchison for once again feeding me early and often.
And all of our Sentinel sponsors.
At some point, I'm going to let Paulo and Jen Hutchison adopt me so they can feed me regularly. All I ask is for some food, and maybe I'll walk their dog once or twice. Maybe feed the dogs as well.
Is number 4, Bailey Mendoza, and number 9, Luke Aguilar. Luke Aguilar, that is. Back to receive. Taken by Aguilar. Fakes Aguilar. In the open field, Aguilar at the 40, the 30, the 20, and Luke Aguilar returns it for a touchdown. And just like that, the Sentinels answer in a big way. 42-18. Call it a 70-yard return for the score. And Aguilar lighting up Michael Eubanks Stadium. And that's what you call responding in a big way, Doc.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke Aguilar, that was explosive. And, you know, from that duo of Aguilar and Creech, the running backs have just taken over so far here tonight for the Sentinels.
Call it a 70-yard kickoff return.
Sentinels with the fake. Aguilar took it himself, turned the corner, got in the open field. And now it's Riley Kelly going for a third extra point of the night. Snap is up, and this one is no good. So Kelly misses the PAT, and it's now 42-18. Let me see, Doc. Not very good at math. That's why I got my journalism degree. 42 minus 18. I'm going to say the Sentinels are leading by 24 points. Is that right?
24 is right on the money, Joe.
Wow. Basic math. My elementary school teachers would be so proud of me. So just kind of give you a glance of how I was scholastically as a kid growing up in New York City. So back in elementary school, I was a huge Yankee fan, so I would take the Daily News every day. And instead of paying attention, I would be reading box scores, Major League Baseball, and reading all the sports news regularly.
Yeah, oh, there you go.
And I was a diehard baseball fan. I'd watch baseball games all the time.
Yeah.
You could go. My mom would take me to Yankee games, and you could actually get like Mets tickets to see the Mets by taking, buying milk and saving the coupons in the back, and you could save enough coupons, you get tickets to Mets games.
Really?
And the Mets were so bad at that point that you could basically sit anywhere in the park.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Good memories.
Yeah. And of course, you know, the times have changed. The New York Mets, what a wonderful franchise they are. And you know, wasn't their season this year, but you know what they say, there's always next year.
Mets weren't good, Yankees weren't good. As a Yankees fan, I want Brian Cashman to be fired tomorrow. I think he's been the product of a great payroll, and he doesn't know how to build a franchise, and they certainly don't know how to play sound fundamental baseball.
No.
You can't play in this day and age and live off a 5-run homer all the time.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah, they're a very roller coaster team.
Yes. 1st and 10 from the 35. Navis shotgun. Fakes the inside handoff. Holding penalty will bring that back, but he throws a dart down the field. And Navis, you can say what you want about the Hawks collectively, but Stephen Navis is a good-looking ball player.
Yeah, he is definitely a standout from this Gila River squad. And as you mentioned, holding this one is coming way back.
And Navis is 6'2", $180. You got to figure another year, get him in the weight room. He gets up to 190, maybe 6'3", 6'4". He's going to have a shot to play college football somewhere.
Oh, no doubt.
Bottom line, he'll have a chance to get his tuition paid for somewhere, as well as Jacob Arcides, who's a good-looking football player. So it brings up a 2nd and 20 from the 25. Navis, time to throw. Slings it down perfectly, and a great pitch and catch. And Gabriel Cota, that's a great grab right there.
Phenomenal.
And what about the touch, leading him perfectly on the pass play?
That was impressive on both sides right there.
First down at the 50-yard line.
And we are inside 4 minutes left on this one. And Sentinels Nation watching this one very closely. Sentinels once again leading by 24, but the Hawks are showing their quick strike capability. 1st and 10. And now it looks like we have another flag, and that's going to be an offside call against the Sentinels. And look, right now, you're up by 24. Neutral zone infraction, all you have to do is line up accordingly.
Yeah.
So a 1st and 5 from the 45, 3:21 left in the third. Navis, pressure, slings it downfield. Arcides.
Oh, wow.
Makes the grab. And they're going to say Arcides was out of bounds, but how about the concentration off the tip pass?
That was phenomenal.
We've seen some Madden football-like plays tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Creech on the spin move and the touchdown that was taken away. Chase Dixon with a couple Mahomes-like moves out of the pocket.
Yep.
And Arcides right there off the tip pass.
Yeah.
And Navis with a couple great throws on the perfect timing routes. Some Friday night bowling going out here in Michael Eubank Stadium. 2nd and 5 from the 45. Navis, 3 wide receivers up top. Fakes the inside handoff. He's being chased, and Navis is going to be dropped. A slew of Sentinels leading the charge. Number 55, James Williams, as well as Declan Hermes as well. A combination platter leads to a loss of 10. But this will be 2-down situation for the Hawks, trailing by 24. Navis, a 3rd and 15 from the 45. Shotgun, time to throw, fires a strike, and Arcidas just a little low. Couldn't bring it up from his ankles.
That pass is broken up by number 2, TJ Conley.
And the Hawks will play the percentages and will punt it away.
Down to the Hawks from the 45-yard line.
So Navis going back to the sidelines. And it's going to be interesting to see him a year from now physically, because
Yeah.
AP, you were a high school athlete. How much in a difference can a year make if you dedicate yourself to the weight room, eating right, and doing everything nutritionally to get bigger and stronger?
You know, it can make a world of difference. You know, at Castile, I had the pleasure of watching some kids go from, you know, their freshman year barely making the freshman team to sophomore year, they're on the varsity squad, and, you know, it all you get what you put into the game, and that's as simple as I can put it. Whatever work you put in is what you'll get out.
So it takes a certain amount of self-determination and will to drive yourself to be in the weight room. And look, the weight room, it's kind of, you have to get an acquired taste for it. But once you dedicate yourself to it, you realize the benefits. You go back to your sport, you're stronger, you're faster, you're doing things you never thought you could do because you have the strength and agility that you've increased by the dedication to tap into the inner strength and physical potential of your body.
Yeah. And Creech on the run, busted to the outside for a first down.
Ryan Creech already over 100 yards. He had that in the first half alone. Big 70-yard run. He's had a monster night, also a 13-yard touchdown reception. So Ryan Creech living large in the land of Seton Catholic. A big night here off Ray and Dobson Road. Sentinels with a first down from the 25 and looking to put the Hawks away with a nice long drive and kill some clock in the process. Sentinels come out with 3 wide receivers, 1 back set. Dixon rolling to his right. Flicks it down, and it's got Nick Pongrantz, and Pongrantz moves the chains. And the Sentinels fans wanted a personal foul as they felt Pongrantz got a shove out of bounds.
And we still have plenty of
and we've got all kinds of Seton fans here tonight. We've got boisterous fans, we got mothers and daughters, we got adults, alumni, student section, cheerleaders.
All of the above.
A little quick flare out to the left side. And another first down for the Sentinels on the quick hitcher. Pongrantz motors up for a nice quality pickup. And the Sentinels will be just short as it brings up a 2nd and inches. Under 2 minutes left in this third quarter. Sentinels with a 42-18 lead. I'm looking forward to baseball season, but do you remember how cold it was when we called those games early last year?
Don't remind me, Joe. Miserable up in the booth, and You know, we were surrounded by a whole lot of cold metal. Obviously, the bleachers are made of, you know, whatever, aluminum, steel, whatever. And that doesn't bode too well when there's a cool breeze and the temperature's in the low 50s. And Joe, I wish you good luck in the booth this coming year, and I hope you bring a heater with you.
I will bring a heater. I will be more heavily armed.
Maybe a blanket as well. Yeah.
Yes, I will not suffer this year. Dixon downfield. Cornerback and the wide receiver tugging, and that's going to be a call that goes against the Hawks as Drake Phillips
That pass was intended for number 4, Bailey Mendoza.
was holding Bailey Mendoza.
There's a flag on the play.
And if he wasn't holding, Mendoza might have went the distance on the reception. So the officiating crew will talk about it, and they get the call right. Pretty obvious.
Yep.
So yeah, it was very cold.
Turns on the defense.
And I felt like, honestly, it didn't start getting warmer until like May.
Yeah.
And people don't realize, look, 60 degrees, that's when, you know, we start, but you're up there. We're not in an enclosed press box. So you're basically, as the temperature drops, you're basically outside for like 3 hours in about 50-degree weather.
Yep.
And if you're not dressed warm, it's miserable after a while. I just remember this one to Mendoza, and that's a flag. That's coming back. I just remember I got to the 8th and 9th innings. My nose is like watering, and I'm cold, and my teeth are chattering, and I just wanted the game to end as quickly as possible.
Goosebumps, yeah, everything.
Yeah.
No flag on the play.
They waved it off.
Yeah, so the big gain from Bailey Mendoza will stand, and the Sentinels continue to press down the field.
Sentinels marching down with another impressive drive. Inside the 30, call it at the 26-yard line. Time is winding down in the third quarter. Where have all the good times gone? Paulo Hutchinson, well entrenched in this one. He's locked and loaded, waiting to see what the Sentinels do next. Third quarter coming to an end. We'll take a break right here. Sentinels with a comfortable 24-point lead over the Hawks.
We'd like
So we're getting ready to start the fourth quarter. Sentinels with a 1st and 10 from 26, leading 42-18. Joe Pequeno, Dr. Adam Perry, as well as Paulo Hutchinson, the live stream. Going deep, wide open, Pongrants, and Chase Dixon hits him on the 26-yard touchdown. And Chase Dixon having a big night, and the Sentinels now leading 48-18.
Chase Dixon cannot miss here tonight. He is lights out.
"26-yard touchdown pass, 48-18. Riley Kelly going out for the extra point attempt. Chase Dixon's 3rd touchdown pass of the night. He's got 18 touchdown passes on the year.
This one up, and this one is good. 49 to 18. And the route is on. And Doc, we all go through tough times in life, and sometimes the expectations can't be met. And recently I had a moment where I felt like the world was against me because my hopes were so high. So on the $1.75 billion lottery, I bought 5 tickets. I said,
man.
this is my moment.
Yeah.
And if I would have converted, I just want to let you know, every Diamondbacks playoff game would have been a club seating, and you could have brought the whole Perry family.
Yeah.
And you could have brought the zoo animals you would have seen tomorrow at the park with you.
Yeah.
I would have invited everyone, but much to my chagrin, I came up empty yet again. Not even like one.
Wow.
Not even a pair of numbers.
That's shocking, Joe.
Yeah. But I continue to play every week. I'm shooting for the stars.
Hey, one of these weeks, Joe,
One of
you
these
might
weeks.
just be the big winner. For those watching at home, we do not endorse gambling to any extent.
Paulo Hutchison endorses being an armchair quarterback 24/7.
And congratulations to our 50-50 winner.
And that one's knocked out of bounds. So the Hawks with a lot of work to do, an uphill battle, and now we can kind of ease the seat back in the night. Seton in a good, comfortable position. Ryan Creech over 100 yards with a 70-yard touchdown run, 13-yard touchdown reception. Chase Dixon, 3 touchdown passes on the night. Nick Pongrantz with a pair of field goals. All is good for the Sentinels in this one. Pete Walheim at the 44-yard line with a knee down. Pete watching intently. Stephen Davis. Time, chucks it downfield. He's got a receiver.
Wow.
And a good throw and a good catch. And some great sportsmanship. Miguel Grijalva on the coverage. And just another beautiful pass by Navis to Jacob Arcides. And Arcides, look, you can see greatness on the field despite the scoreboard or the potential outcome. And Jacob Arcides is a 5'9", $150 receiver. And you got to wonder if he could play the slot, how good he would be. But he's a young man who can catch the football and can make plays. Stephen Davis back to throw, and that time he overshoots his receiver. And Stephen Davis has had a great night throwing the football from different arm slots and different pass plays. And he's shown touch, and that time he just overthrows Drake Phillips. So it brings up a 2nd and 10 from the 28. Hawks give them a lot of credit. Coming off back-to-back losses, they're fighting here. They're trailing, but they're going down, and they're going down swinging. And that's all you can ask if Jessica Slaughter, her, from a team that off to a tough start. 2nd and 10 from the 28. Davis rolls to his left, chucks it downfield, and that one knocked away last second. Good coverage on the back end by the Sentinels, getting a paw. Ian Ellis, last second, just got the big bear claw on it to knock it away. It looked like Navis just put enough touch on it to lead the receiver.
Good throw, yet again from Navis. And Navis has just been such a standout for Gila River tonight, but this one is coming back even further.
Yeah, the Hawks of Gila Ridge, they're battling hard. And Navis is continuing to impress. Also impressing the cheerleading squad. Getting the fans going and bringing the energy and effort. And a lot of people don't realize how much time and effort the cheerleading squad put into their routines and efforts on a Friday night to inspire the crowd and be that extra 12th man. And Navis, once again, on the post route, fires a perfect strike
That tackle made by number
and hits his
43,
receiver,
Nico
Jacob
Pastore.
Arcidas.
And number 13,
And that
Tony
moves the chains. As we wind down to 11 minutes left in this one. Clock continues to go. Sentinels with a 49-18 lead. So Adam Perry is going to the zoo tomorrow. I'm going to be watching my daughter play club softball tomorrow. Paulo Hutchinson will probably be having a club sandwich, watching some sports on TV. And that's a big sack by the Sentinels.
Quarterback sack by number 81, Gray Jorgensen.
Gray Jorgensen on the sack, and that drops Navis back. Gray Jorgensen, the junior cornerback, blitzing from his corner position. Brings up a 2nd and long. Paulo actually has great dogs. He has 2 Dalmatians, Steve and Lenny.
Steve and Lenny.
Yeah.
What a great group of beautiful Dalmatians.
And maybe, as Navis, time to throw, throws a strike.
Oh,
Wow.
whoa.
And that is a big time hit. My goodness. That was a hit and then some. Wow, that's what you call
20, Ian Ellis.
a big time slobber knocker by Ian Ellis.
Wow.
That was the hit of the night. But the pass is complete as the Hawks look to punch it in. Navis, inside handoff, and the Sentinels not relenting. Wow, Ian Ellis, talk about contact, reception, and then boom.
I'm shocked that the receiver held on to the football, to be honest with you, Joe. That's a remarkable catch.
We want to give credit to the catch. Might have been Richard Bean, the tight end, the big tight end who could take the physicality. 2nd and 3. Navis, little pitch. And that is short.
Ian Ellis, defender on play. Tackle out of bounds.
They rule it down at the 1-yard line. So Navis was trying to execute the RPO, run pass option, and just run out of real estate, not left side. And they're just going to push Navis across, and he gets in for the touchdown.
And that is a touchdown.
Stephen Navis,
For the Hawks.
1-yard keeper. 49-24. Now, if you're the Hawks, go big or go home.
Yeah.
You're going to go for 2.
I mean, yeah. At this point in the game, no question. Trailing, I believe, 24. We'll see when the score gets updated.
Navis.
Maybe 25.
And some contact on the line as the guard got knocked back. So now the refereeing crew, which has had a lot of opportunity to converse tonight, not just about the great weather here in Chandler, but
Yeah.
a lot of the penalties on the field, will converse to sort it out. And it's a false start against the offense, which caused the Sentinel defensive lineman
And that was
to
a false start on the offense.
take liberties with the guard of the Hawks. So the Hawks will still go for 2. Because at this point, they're trailing by a lot of points, and they need everything. Navis shotgun. Rolling to his right. Tries to avoid the rush. Chucks it in the end zone, and
And Bean in the end zone runs out of room.
And that was Ian Ellis back on that play.
So the Sentinels give up the touchdown. They now lead
Final shout out to the
49-24.
Bellbank Mortgage for being a Sentinel staple.
So we will go back to the Sentinels on offense.
A general and electric contracting company with operations based in Arizona and Texas.
Sentinels have scored in every offensive possession.
Yeah, and you know what? Something else worth mentioning is that the Hawks have not converted any points after a touchdown here tonight. 0 for 4 on 2-point conversions, which wouldn't put them back in the game, but definitely doesn't help their cause.
You want to pick something up before you leave? Now's the time to do it. They will be shutting down pretty soon. Stop by the
First
concession stand as soon as possible.
chance the Hawks can get, they need a defensive stop in such the big way. They've yet to stop the Sentinels on any defensive opportunity tonight. Sentinels have scored every single time. This time they'll pooch it up and picked up by the up man, and that's Sentinels will have great field position. And you knew what the
That kickoff was picked up by number 8.
Hawks were trying to do. They didn't want to get the ball to Nick Aguilar. Nick Aguilar's had a great night as well. He's had a 1-yard touchdown run, a 70-yard return, but the point wasn't to knock it to the up man and have the ball back at the 50-yard line.
No, definitely not the intended result there for the Hawks. And the backup quarterback now in the game, the bright future of Seton Catholic Preparatory.
Brady Hayes in. Hayes. RPO on his feet. Gain of 10, takes it to the 40-yard line. Brady Hayes, his mom and dad right to the left of us. And needs to say they're a little excited to see their son play. And as rightfully so.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
There's no pride like,
didn't your mom and dad always get excited to see you play? And
oh, my goodness. They still do.
yeah, Mary Perry would be all fired up, right?
Oh, yeah. She's hanging on the fence. She's got a poster. She's got a mariachi band with her. She's in full support.
Okay, we're going to break down that mariachi band situation in just a second after this handoff. So a tight handoff goes nowhere as the Hawks read it.
Number 10, Declan Hermes on the carry.
Declan Hermes getting an opportunity to run the football. So the Sentinels are now at the point where Brady Hayes is in, Declan Hermes is running the football, Ryan Creech, Luke Aguilar. They've done their service to their team and then some as we're winding down to 7 minutes left in this one. So your mom would bring the whole Perry family.
Oh, yeah. And some. She'd bring the neighbors.
The neighbors would come?
Absolutely.
She'd recruit the neighbors?
She brought a militia, basically,
Wow.
with her of support. Yeah.
She said, my boy Adam's pitching. Come on, let's go.
Yep.
Mary Perry. There you go. We got some movement, and that's Declan Hermes. There's going to be movement against the Sentinels on the false start.
Oh.
Or I stand corrected.
Yeah. And, you know, Declan Hermes actually grabbed his own face mask right there, admitting basically guilt. But regardless, the men in stripes award the Sentinels with a couple yards.
6:40 and counting. Brady Hayes looking to get into the scoring column. RPO play, and then Brady, after a short gain, gets rocked. Young man. And Brady Hayes doesn't mind running the football, but at some point he can't be taking on linebackers in that secondary. That's a good way to get hurt, right?
Yeah, I mean, with the young quarterback like that and a lofty lead like you have here, I don't see why you're not focusing on the passing game and getting him some experience in the pocket.
goes back to like Anthony Richardson of the Colts. You know, just
Yeah.
because he's 250 and 6'6" doesn't mean he should be running the football every time. That's
No.
why you have things called running backs.
Yeah.
And Anthony Richardson's out with an AC joint sprain in his throwing shoulder after taking a 4-yard run, getting grabbed from a linebacker, and then getting planted in the turf against the Titans. I just don't understand when teams think that their starting quarterback needs to run the football. I have no problem inside the 5 or when a pocket breaks down.
Yeah.
That's when Mahomes does it. It's very rare you see a design run with Patrick Mahomes. When the pocket breaks down, he takes off, and that's why his longevity in the league is going to be fruitful.
Yeah.
And he's going to win more than 3 Super Bowls, which he's already has, because he's going to stay healthy. But, I mean, like the Lamar Jacksons of the world, they don't last in the NFL. They just don't. 35 from the 32. Brady on the strike down the field. A good throw and a good catch. Sliding attempt by Joseph Ferentz, the sophomore.
Number 34, Joseph Ferentz.
Winding down, under 5 minutes left in this one.
Brings up another Seton, a first down.
Brady with the throw. .4:45 left. 20-minute halftime for the flag football game.
Yeah.
Good fireworks there. Our Greg Buchanan, the athletic director, was the sponsor. Actually, the referee in that one. Brady in the shotgun. Gives it off to Declan Hermes, who gets tackled in the backfield.
We got lost 2 on the play.
Now we're kicking some old school music here at Michael Eubank Stadium. Second and 12 from the 25. 2 wide receivers up top. Hayes, keeper, runs it inside and gets planted to the ground.
That is Brady Hayes on the carry.
Good tackle by Skylar Jackson, senior defensive tackle. Brings up a 3rd and 13 from the 26. And Adam, I'm kind of with you here. I'd like to see Brady Hayes throw the football a little bit instead of trying to run the ball between the tackles and trying to take on linebackers.
No, absolutely. It's a great time to get your young quarterback some varsity experience.
3 wide receivers up top. Hayes. A little quick pass in a flat and can't hit his receiver.
That pass was intended for number 4, Bailey Mendoza.
Bailey Mendoza brings up a 4th down, and Sentinels up 25. 2 minutes and 53 seconds left. Hayes gets the call from the sidelines. And this is all about learning situations for the future. Working on the playbook, building confidence. 4th and 13 from the 26. Hayes. And Hayes is going to be dropped on a big tackle by big number 63.
Make it 83.
Kobe Caldwell. So that is going to be a change of possession. So a learning moment for Brady Hayes. Holding call is wiped off. 2:46 left. So Pete Walheim getting some of his younger players some opportunities on the field. And next week for the Sentinels, they're back at it. Actually, they'll have a bye week, and then on the 27th,
they'll take on Sierra Linda right here. That's a strike down the field by Stephen Davis. And the Sentinels keep him, the receiver, in bounds, and that will continue to wind the clock. So the Sentinels have Sierra Linda on the 27th. Next week they got a bye, and then on November 3rd, their last game of the season at La Jolla Community. 2:25 left. So the Sentinels have a bye week coming up, and Stephen Davis downfield. And that's another great throw, and that should have been caught by Richard Bean. The touch by Stephen Davis is just uncanny. The young man can just really thread the football and put it in great places. So you can tell by Stephen Davis there's still room to grow athletically and work on the arm strength, but as far as touch on the football, he has it.
Absolutely.
And he reminds me of another young man I covered in my time here in the Valley, and that's Brock Purdy, who played for Perry High School. And I'll give you the
You covered Brock Purdy?
I covered Brock Purdy.
Wow.
And back in the day, as Navis going downfield, and he's got a receiver open, and that goes right through the wickets. Once again, a pass that should have been caught. So Brock Purdy, his senior year,
he was at Perry, right?
he threw about 1,000 touchdown passes, and he was getting no love nationally. And then finally, I did a story on Brock Purdy. I interviewed his coach, Preston Jones, and Preston said that for all the coaches that are not giving Brock Purdy the amount of respect and love he deserves because he doesn't pass the eye test of size and strength, he called them cowardly.
Wow.
So that being said, the night I was over his house, Alabama gave him a commitment over the phone, and the Iowa State coaches were at Brock Purdy's house.
Oh, man.
So Brock went on to start Iowa State. He is the last pick in last year's draft. And
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant, and now he's looking like Mr. Everything for the 49ers.
Yeah.
Because Brock Purdy reminds, and this should be like a statement for NFL scouts. You don't have to be the biggest. You don't have to have the biggest arm strength. All you got to do is have touch and be smart with the football, and that's what Brock Purdy does. He's a great quarterback and a better person as well. And his parents are fantastic people. And Stephen Davis has got a lot of those same skill sets. Davis, downfield, fires, and that could have been a penalty. Looked like.
And depending on that play, number 5, Miguel Grijalva.
But Grijalva did have good coverage. Looked like he might have grazed the legs of the receiver, but they ruled off.
And that is a
turnover on downs, and the Sentinels can line up in victory formation on the ball. So the Sentinels will improve to 2-5 overall, 1-1 in conference. Make that 2-6 overall, 1-1 in conference. So next week they've got a bye, a chance to regroup and get stronger and faster and heal up, because football is such a wear and tear on the body. Gives them a couple weeks to get back physically in a good place. So for Adam Perry, he's been calling every Seton game. What does Adam Perry do in the bye week?
Man, I'm going to have to sit at home and just wallow in sadness, to be honest with you, Joe. No, next week, midterms coming up for community college, and, got to lock in on the baseball diamond. So, it's good to have some time to myself, some time off, and I'm sure that these Seton players are going to do the same.
And what exams do you have coming up?
Oh, man, I got some a bio exam, chemistry, and I just turned in a final exam for my health communications class last weekend. So
how'd you feel you did?
I aced it.
Nice.
Luckily.
So you got A in the class.
A in the class.
And that is it. The Sentinels, as the clock is winding down, the Sentinels get the 49-24 victory. An impressive performance. They score on every
offensive possession. Great night for Pete Walheim and his team as they win in a big way. They start fast on the 62-yard drive. Luke Aguilar, 1-yard touchdown. He got the 2-point conversion. A Nick Pongrant's field goal. The Hawks countered on a touchdown pass from Navis to Jacob Arcides. Ryan Creech had a 70-yard touchdown run. Then it was Chase Dixon, a 2-point conversion to Aguilar. Dixon found Nick Pongrantz on a 41-yard touchdown pass. They made it 26-6. Navis to Arcides on a 3-yard touchdown. Then it was Pongrantz added the field goal. Dixon to Ryan Creech on a 13-yard touchdown pass. Made it 36-12. Navis to Drake Phillips made it 36-18. Aguilar on a 70-yard kickoff return. Chase Dixon to Nick Pongrantz on a 26-yard touchdown. And then Navis on a 1-yard keeper. And Sentinels win this one 49-24. And Doc, what really stood out to you in this one?
What stood out to me was Chase Dixon. Chase Dixon came out tonight and looked better than he has all season. He was locked in from the get-go, the very first drive. And, I mean, you know, for a junior quarterback, to see that kind of development this late in his season is just phenomenal. And, you know, good upside for him and good upside for his backup who came in late in the game as well. Seton is in good position in terms of quarterback, current and future. And the offense just looked explosive here tonight.
Dixon, 3 touchdown passes. Ryan Creech, over 100 yards in the first half alone.
Yep.
Had a big 70-yard touchdown run, a 13-yard touchdown reception. How about Luke Aguilar as well? Can't understate the night he had with the 1-yard touchdown run, the 2-point conversion. How about the 70-yard kickoff return? Nick Pongrantz was great. A couple field goals, nailed some extra points. Riley Kelly did her duties as well, nailing some point after attempts. Defense with some good efforts out there. So the Sentinels get the huge win, 49-24. Seton now improves to 2-6, 1-1 in league play. They've got the bye next week, and then they are back at it on the 27th, hosting Sierra Lynn, and Sierra Lynn is 3-4 entering tonight, 1-1 in league play. So that's a big playoff matchup.
Yeah.
And then that game, of course, is right here at Seton Catholic. Kickoff right here at 7 p.m. And Adam Perry will guide you through the fireworks of that late October matchup. And then November 3rd, we're going to have to say, where have all the good times gone? Seton will close out the year on the road, taking on La Jolla Catholic. Make that La Jolla Community. And La Jolla Community is off to a 1-6 start, 1-0 in league play. So Seton is trying to battle their way maybe to a late surge and earn their way to maybe an at-large playoff berth. And Doc, you've been around the high school scene a long time. You've seen stranger things happen when it comes to the postseason. Anything's possible for Seton.
Yeah, anything's possible. And, you know, if Seton comes out the way they did tonight with all cylinders firing and everyone in sync, chemistry on 10, you know, I don't put that past them at all.
So the Sentinels are walking off the field, and they're going to be greeted by their fan base, their alumni, their friends, the student bodies. And how great is it back in the day when you played, when you walked off the field and you got the big W and you felt like the daddy, like you owned the school, and you walked over to your classmates and your loved ones and your friends and family?
You know, the biggest one was always the alumni, especially at Castile. There's a huge emphasis on the family side of things with the program, and, you know, people became family after you play a season with them on the diamond, and I'm sure that's the same feeling down there with, you know, a lot of the football boys.
So Seton reveling in the big victory
over the visiting Hawks of Gila Ridge, 49-24, and they get to celebrate and have a joyous weekend. And they'll watch their share of football, and of course they'll root for Joe Pequeno to somehow win a fantasy game and somehow get into the fantasy race in his 8-member league. There's still hope. There's always hope. So we appreciate you dialing us up right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network, for all the good people right here that make this happen. Greg Buchanan, the athletic director for Seton Catholic, as well as Terry Lick, the assistant AD. Jen Hutchison, the driving force that does so much. Paulo Hutchison on the live stream. Where would we be without Paulo? How about Freddie the Flamingo, who we've yet to see tonight, really? He hasn't really been a spectator, hasn't been out. I guess we don't have the ability to punch up Freddie. He's just kind of basking in his own thing. And there's Freddie. He's saying hello to everyone. He's in on the fun because he's a bird of a feather. He likes to flock together. And to my broadcast partner, Adam Perry, we wish him well on all his exams and all his academic and, of course, his athletic endeavors at Chandler Gilbert. And I am Joe Pequeno. Always a pleasure, honored and humbled to call games for Seton Catholic. Some of the greatest people, some of the nicest people with the best hearts here in Arizona. Once again, a good night for the Sentinels. They win 49-24. We'll see you in 2 weeks right here as the Sentinels get ready to take on the